I want to talk to you today about my top 5 places that I like to order yarn online and why I like those sites. If you've been around a little while, you will know that I am a strong proponent of only purchasing yarn with a purpose. Whether that purpose is building your stash or a project, it doesn't matter. I'm just not a fan of shopping just to shop, just to get a little dopamine. That's really not my thing. So I'm not encouraging you to shop at any of these sites just to waste time or get a shopper's high. Nothing like that. I just want you to know where I think the best values are and the best yarn are, so that when you are ready to make a purchase, you can go to these sites and shop with confidence. So in no means feel like I am telling you to rush out to these sites and buy anything. That is definitely not the point of this video. I just want you to have access to some really great yarns when you're ready to purchase. So let's get into it. Number 5 on my list of favorite places for online yarn shopping is going to be lionbrand.com. And you can definitely pick up Lion Brand yarn a lot of different places for sure. I like ordering directly from the site. I feel like there are times when they have little bits of discontinued yarns that they pop back on sale. They've got a pretty active Instagram page and they go live a lot, so you can really interact with their marketing team and see what's up and coming, see what's on the horizon. But what I like the most about Lion Brand's website is that they oftentimes offer double discounts. They will have, items on clearance, but then it'll be an additional 20 or 30% off of those items. And to me, that's a big deal because I like clearance yarn. I like picking up clearance yarn, and if I am picking it up, chances are it's going to be discontinued and I want to get a quantity of it that I can make things with. I really like that you can double dip the savings on Lion Brand. The other aspect I like about Lion Brand is that when you go down and you click on a particular yarn, it will have the yarn name, but then it will also give you a color adjective of it. So I know I don't have it up here yet, but I ordered some of this Lion Brand respun, and I ordered it in the color Aspen. Color description had said, I want to say a dark teal or something like that. Had I have ordered this Lion Brand, this respun off of Lion Brand, I had ordered this from Joann's, and I have a video on it. I'll go ahead and link, where I ordered multiple colors in respun, and one of them was called cranberry. I'm anticipating cranberry, so when I see the picture, I'm kind of interpreting it through my own lens of what I think cranberry is. And I get here and it's kind of like a Bazooka Joe bubblegum color of pink. So I did give that to a friend and she made good use of it. But had I have ordered it directly from Lion Brand, and they would have had the little color description where it would have said, instead of saying burgundy or red or merlot or something like that, they would have said pink or mauve or something like that. So I think that is very helpful in the aspect of not tricking yourself into thinking a yarn is a certain color because of the name. I will have a link to Lion Brand down below, and that is a company that I do have an affiliate link through. So if you ever want to support my channel in that way, go ahead and just follow that link. But that is not the reason it ended up on this list. I have stores on this list that I am an affiliate for. I have stores on this list I'm not an affiliate for. And I also have stores that I am an affiliate for that aren't on the list. I hope that makes sense. I just want you to understand I compiled this honestly based on the things I like, regardless of whether or not I would get anything from it. Number 4 on my list is Nitpicks, and I'm definitely newer to Nitpicks, and this is something where I want to say maybe a year and a half ago, I was given some Nitpicks yarn from a friend. I'm going to set my computer down here. I was given some yarn from a friend who can't use wool, and she had ordered some Nitpicks chroma, and she realized she couldn't use it because it's merino wool. So I made a virus shawl out of it and absolutely love it. They have since discontinued that colorway. It's called Vermont. It's in a bulky, but it's not the same. They've come out with one that I think is probably very, very similar. It's called Fall Favorite. I haven't ordered it yet, but I think I might order it in the chroma worsted, because I'd maybe like to make myself a hat that coordinates with the shawl I have. So that might be on an up and coming video. I've also recently ordered some of a very cool new yarn. I'm gonna grab it and show you because I have a hard time keeping secrets. This is a brand new chroma. This is the worsted. I am using 2 balls of the fingering weight for a scarf, and I will show you that in a later video. But this is called All Hallows. So it is like a spooky season, and to me, it reminds me of like a moonlit night. Like, do they call it like a blood moon or a harvest moon, where it's like the red and orange and then it goes into these midnighty colors. So there's definitely like a grayish black and an indigo in there. I am absolutely loving how my scarf is turning out, and I'm definitely getting off track here. But the reason that I love Nitpicks is because, like, we all have different price ranges on what we find to be like investment piece yarn. And for me, I'm just not at a stage where I am comfortable going and buying like $20 to $30 hanks of yarn for an investment piece. To me, this $12 ball of yarn is an investment piece for me. So I am in no way knocking anyone who does. I am in no way saying you should do this, but I'm just telling you the stage I am at. For me, this is a place I can go to get like investment yarn where I know it's going to be a nicer piece. This right here, this worsted weight chroma, is 70% superwash wool and 30% nylon. It's very soft. It doesn't feel woolly. I've had good results now in the shawl and the scarf that I have made with this. Their website is very amazing, again, as far as indicating what colors are in the yarn. That is important to me because as stated earlier, I have tricked myself. They're very, very detailed in what colors are on it, which I find extremely helpful and amazing. They also have a lot of colors in this chroma line where, how do I want to say this? I don't want to say like trendy, like it's going to be out of style, but they have rich colors. They have very like deep colors, like I don't want to say heavily dyed, but like saturated colors. And they have some very bright colors. They even have some neon colors if you're into that. The color combinations are very pretty and they're very, very well done, where I feel like I can get a ball of this and have a lot of great colors and not have to worry about my choices in colors in putting a piece together. Like I can just buy, the scarf I'm making, I have 2 balls of the fingering weight in this, and I just bought the 2 balls and I'm just working on that, and I'm not worrying about changing yarns. I'm not worrying about what rows need what in it, and it's really looking good in my opinion. I have not been able to find a free shipping code, or I haven't gotten an email at all for them for free shipping. And I want to say the 2 times I've ordered from here, it has been a $7 shipping charge, which it is what it is. That's how things are in this day and age. But overall, I think for the quality of the yarn, the colorways that they have, and the way that they accurately describe the colors definitely pushes Nitpicks into the number 4 spot. And I'm gonna be honest, if I had a little bit bigger yarn budget, that would probably be closer to the top of the list. It's just that I am very much in a stage where I am buying, you know, a little bit more value type yarn. My number 2 and my number 3 are both kind of difficult to decide which is which, but I'm gonna go with my number 3 pick as the Wool Warehouse. And to be honest, over time that might change and it might bump up to number 2. But because I've only ordered from there a couple times, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at number 3. The Wool Warehouse is amazing. I have a whole video on it, and I thought it was great. For being in the UK and shipping to the US, when you look at the conversion of pounds to US dollars, it only cost me $6.30 to get yarn shipped here. So that is amazing. The one downside I will say is that you just can't track it in the same way that you can like Joann's and all that. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but I haven't had any issues not getting it. I haven't had any issues with it being delayed. So it really wasn't a big deal. And it was a fun surprise when I came home and found the yarn on my doorstep. So here's what I love about the Wool Warehouse. The variety is absolutely amazing. So you've got a bunch of different weights, you've got a bunch of different brands, and a lot of the brands aren't ones we see here in the States. And then on top of that, you have a bunch of different fibers. They even have a section you can search by for just UK yarns, which I think is kind of cool. I will go ahead and pop a list up here. I'll like overlay on the screen a list of different brands that I've never really seen in the stores here, but that you can get through Wool Warehouse. And I think we've probably all seen a lot of Crystal at Bag a Day hauling some of these, but before I ordered from there, I kind of looked at it as like, she's got a giant channel and her yarn budget is way different than mine. And so I always thought like maybe it would be too expensive, or it just wasn't my economic level or something like that. But it's not true. It's actually pretty affordable. When you want to go in and like set up an account, log in, and set your prices in US dollars. And I do think when you go back to the site every time, you'll want to just pop it down and make sure it's in US dollars. The conversion rate, it'll show you approximately what it is. Both of my orders I have thought have been extremely affordable. The selection is amazing. I have actually been ordering some drops yarn from there because it's very limited on the amount of distributors for that. So it's an extremely good value and it's accessible on Wool Warehouse. Another really, really cool feature about Wool Warehouse is that when you go into any particular yarn, you can pull down, they've got a little bar, and you can pull down and see different dye lot numbers. So, you know, if you have some yarn and run out and you're reordering it, you can go in and see if they have that same dye lot. You can click to like that you don't care what dye lot it is, but, you know, please make them all the same. So I think that is a great feature, especially if you are buying some European yarns where they come in like the tiny 50-gram little balls or skeins instead of like some of the larger sizes we're used to here. The more and more I look on that website and experiment and try different things, I know that in time it's going to become really one of my go-to yarn sources, and I can't speak highly enough of that. Like I said, in time, I think it's gonna bump up at least to number 2. So what is my number 2? I'm gonna go ahead and go with Joann. So Joann is just, their app is really easy to shop with. It really is. Ease of use. They have a lot of shipping deals and they just have a lot of quantity. In a prior video, my Q&A video, I had said that if I had to narrow down like a specific specific line of yarn, I would probably say Big Twist, just because there's so many different varieties of it. It's a pretty good value most of the time, and they keep it real fresh. They're constantly updating with different styles of yarn and different colors. And the shipping is usually pretty quick. And then really, I would say the best feature for me with Joann is the fact that even though Joann is like 45 minutes to an hour away from me, if I do order something from there that I don't like, I can take it back and return it in the store. So for these other things, that really isn't an option for me. And there has been times where I have gotten things and I have just been like, no way. This is not what I thought it was going to be at all. I don't want this. And I have taken it back. The downside I have found, and this has happened to me a couple times, I have seen a lot of people making comments about it in like Facebook groups or in video comments, is that unfortunately, okay, let me start this over. So Joann is able to ship such a large amount of yarn because they're pulling it out of different stores. So when you place that order, if you have 10 things in your order, 5 things might come from one place, 3 things from another, and then 2 things from a third place. And sometimes people get annoyed by this because it's not all coming from one. But the reality is that they wouldn't be able to offer the shipping because all stores aren't going to have all of those things in the quantities you want. So it actually is a bonus to us that they do ship that way. But the downside is sometimes parts of our orders get canceled and they don't send out an email telling you, hey, 3 of your skeins of yarn aren't coming. You are just like waiting, and you'll see the order status is shipped or partially shipped, and you'll see parts of it have been sent out, and then it'll say processing. And it's like you have to go into the app, go into your account, bring it up, and then you might see that it's been canceled because there just wasn't the quantity at a store that could ship them out. So that is a bummer, and I know it does frustrate people to no end. So that would be the downside, but overall, I think their app has just a great ease of use, plenty of shipping deals. What is my number one favorite place to shop for yarn online? I'm guessing if you know me, you're going to know that I would have to say it is Henners. Henners is a company where you may or may not know about it. I mean, they're a big box store, but they're not a big box store. So they're like a local one in Wisconsin. I have never been to the actual store before. I believe it's about 4 hours away from where I live. But they have yarn, they have fabric, they have lots of different crafts. And I had never heard of them until a friend, like a person who crochet, the person who taught me how to crochet, she's the one who told me about Henners. Like, I feel like sometimes it's one where if you're not around like a lot of yarny people, or you're not watching like a whole bunch of yarn hauls, you might not know about it, or if you're, new to yarn. But it's Herrschners. And of course, I'll have links to everything. There's what it looks like right there. And this is Henners Afghan yarn. And the reason, I'm just using this one as an example. The reason Henners is number one for me is because I really, really love their private label house brand yarns. They have so many different lines of it, and it is actually it's actually like 2 companies. There's also Willow Yarns, which is more of like a little bit higher end, a lot more wool content, but they're together. So you can order from both of those on the same website and it'll all come together. But they've done such a good job of private labeling yarn, and I really rarely order things off of Henners that aren't their brand. I have gotten some Karen cakes off of there because they were like a screaming good deal. They were like $3 a piece, which is absolutely insane. And then I have also ordered some universal yarn off of there. Something else that I can't remember, but that were like higher end yarns that were also, like a clearanced out price. So I will actually put down in the description box, I will put a playlist of some Henners hauls I have done. Some of them are a little older, so be gentle with me if you watch those. I think they have done such a good job private labeling. They've got the Afghan yarn, which I love for multiple projects. So many colors in it. So many colors. And, these are $2. It's 2 ounces and it is 244 yards. It is a really great value. A long time ago, they had Afghan yarn that was really scratchy and terrible to feel, but this stuff is awesome. They have a worsted line. So they have what they call worsted 3, worsted 8, and worsted 12. And that just references the amount of ounces that are in each ball. So they are a really, really good value for the money, and tons of colors. And again, used to be scratchy. They have changed whoever their supplier is, and they are nice and pretty soft now. There's a line they call Antiquities. There is a line they call Bohemian. They have a stripes line. They have gradient line. They have Halloween sparkle line. They have a celebrations line, and they might have a celebration sparkle now too. I'm not sure on that one. They have sports team. What do they call it? I can't remember what they call the sports ones, but it's like some very common colors that are in sports teams. And they have, they have a sock weight and a worsted in those. I just saw they have a line out in the Afghan where it is vintage colors. So I checked it out, and I'm going to have to get my hands on a couple of those. There was like a goldenrod, like a mossy green, and I think it was a brown, and then maybe a blue. There was a couple other colors. I can't remember what they were. They just, their house brands are chef's kiss, top notch, whatever you want to call it. I really recommend them for both the price and the value and the quality of it. They do offer sales quite frequently, and while if you are on a yarn diet and wanting to spend less in yarn, I wouldn't necessarily recommend subscribing to their emails, because you will be blasted with them. You get an email every day or multiple times a day from them. But if you are wanting to purchase some yarn and kind of keep an eye on what the prices are, and also order when there's a shipping deal, because Henners orders shipping deals on the regular. They really do. I think a lot of times it is $5 shipping with a $35 order. So it's not every week they do that for sure, but every couple weeks they do. So subscribe if you do want to get a shipping deal. I believe their shipping has been high for me if I have not had a shipping deal. Like, I want to say close to $12. And when I could get yarn shipped from the UK for $6, I'm like, heck no, I'm only ordering with a shipping deal. So that is it. That is my number one pick for places to buy yarn online. I don't want you to feel any FOMO. I don't want you to feel pressured to buy any yarn by any means. But if you are in the market to buy some yarn, these are my top 5 places to order it. I appreciate you letting me talk about yarn with you today, and I can't wait to talk with you again soon. If you have any other suggestions on where to buy yarn online that you love, pop it down in the comments for me. Bye!